First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Karmaura for the very kind introduction. I'm very happy to know that I come from a community which is the happiest people in Bhutan. But unfortunately, I don't think I can consider myself to belong to that category of the happiest people in Bhutan. I would think that politicians in general would fall in the category of least happy people in Bhutan. Excellencies, Dashos, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The Honorable Prime Minister could not be here with us this evening due to some personal exigencies. However, on behalf of the Honorable Prime Minister and the Royal Government of Bhutan, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our foreign participants to this very important 7th International Conference on Gross National Happiness. It is a great pleasure to be present with you here at the reception dinner for the 7th International Conference on Gross National Happiness, GNH of Business. This year, we are celebrating the 62nd birth anniversary of our beloved fourth king, His Majesty Jigme Singye Wangchu, who gave us the legacy of gross national happiness. This conference is a fitting tribute to the great leader who devoted 34 years of his life in the service of his people and the country. Bhutan belongs to a stream of civilizations where the purpose of the government is to create happiness amongst its citizens. The founder of Bhutan, Shabdrunga Namgyal, taught that government and politics could not be separated from spirituality. Spirituality entails compassion, a genuine consideration of the well-being of all sentient beings. Spirituality rules out policies, laws, or programs that are inconsistent with concerns for others. Building on Shabdung's legacy, Bhutan's legal code of 1729 states that if the government cannot create happiness and peace for its people, then there is no purpose for government to exist. The idea of gross national happiness took modern shape in the 1970s under His Majesty the Fourth King. His dictum that became a catchphrase was GNH is more important than GDP. In the Fifth King's reign, and as a new democracy, GNH emerged as a development philosophy that shapes government policies and programs. A keystone of that philosophy is the GNH Index, which gives visibility and form to this aim of Bhutan. Now, the GNH Index tracks data on 33 indicators, combining measures of the 9 domains into a composite index, a single number that provides a snapshot of happiness and conditions for happiness are changing over time. Now, in 2010, the first nationally representative survey was conducted to establish a baseline. In 2015, the second GNH survey was conducted and the GNH index computed. It enabled us to track the changes of GNH and its conditions across time. There was a small but significant increase in the overall GNH index score. The GNH index score has increased by 1.7% from 0.743, measured on a scale of 0 to 1 in 2010, to 0.76 in 2015. If we consider 4 groups of Bhutanese according to their level of GNH, then I would say that 43.4% of Bhutanese are deeply or extensively happy, with 91.2% enjoying sufficiency in at least 50% of the GNH domains. And across districts, GNH was highest in Gasa, that's my district, and Bumthang, Thimphu, and Paro, and lowest in Dagana, Monga, Tashiangzi, and Tongsa. By gender, it is observed that men are significantly happier than women. But women's GNH increased faster than men's from 2010 to 2015, reducing gender inequality. Urban areas across Bhutan are, on average, significantly happier than rural areas. The happiness of urban areas increased more from 2010 to 2015 than it did in rural areas. So rural-urban disparity has increased. By occupation, Gyeok Yerge Tokchung, or the GYT, Dzongkha Yerge Tokchung members had the highest value of GNH index, followed by civil servants and Gomchin, who were the lay monks. The farmers were the least happy. The GNH index findings painted intricate and textured picture of the lives of Bhutanese and have helped the government to formulate policies with much greater care and curiosity than GDP or any other existing index or indicators system. Now let me share a few details along with the corresponding government initiatives to improve these indicators. Of the 9 domains, 7 domains saw improvement in 2015 over 2010 figures, with living standards domain leading the list. However, 2 domains, namely psychological well-being and community vitality, recorded decline in 2015 as compared to 2010. Now, there was a significant improvement in delivery of government services under the good governance domain. Now, despite this, the people's perception of government performances had worsened. To further improve service delivery, the government started the Performance Compact signing, popularly known as the Annual Performance Agreement, with all the ministries and agencies, including the districts. This was carried out mainly to ensure that ministries and agencies are responsible for delivering services against predetermined targets. Now, under the psychological well-being domain, survey reported increased negative emotions and lower levels of spirituality in comparison to 2010. Temples and monasteries in Bhutan act as centers for spiritual activities. Hence, recognizing the importance of role played by the Kwenyes or the caretakers in the upkeep of these centers, besides performing rituals in the community, all registered Kwenyes under the Junta Sang were paid salary by the government. In community vitality domain, donation of time and money, community relationships, and community safety declined in 2015 from 2010. Under time use domain, time spent on work and unpaid labor, such as childcare and elderly care, was significantly higher among women compared to men in both urban as well as rural areas. Additionally, women on an average were highly distressed as compared to men. The government has increased maternity leave to 6 months from 3 months. The maternity leave has also been implemented in all state-owned enterprises. The urban residents have higher income, better quality housing, more assets, better access to services, more years of schooling, and higher literacy compared to rural residents. To narrow down the divide, the government has revised the existing rural life insurance scheme to new term 30,000 from new term 15,000 with effect from 1st July of this year. The objective of the revision is to provide financial support to rural communities in times of death to ease financial burden through the insurance coverage. About 14% of farmers in rural areas reported of having left their land fallow in the past year because of wildlife threats. Average land left fallow was 1.5 acres. They also reported significant loss of domestic animals, especially cattle, to wildlife. So in efforts to enhance food security and crop protection, electric fencing has been set up in all 20 dzongkhaks to shield crops from wild animals. In addition, the government also established an endowment fund for crop and livestock conservation to compensate farmers for crops and livestock damaged by natural calamities and wildlife. Despite lower overall happiness score in rural areas, people in rural areas enjoy higher sufficiency in political participation, donations, community relationship, ecological issues, and safety indicators as compared to urban areas. The most frequently cited sources of happiness are money and financial security, which constitutes 19.6%, followed by health and well-being, 13.5%, asset ownership, 11.9%, family and family relations, 11.2%, access to facilities and services, constituting 11.1%, education, employment, and future success of significant others constituting 8.8%, and education, employment, and job satisfaction, 7.2%. Now, to achieve the aspirations of the people, the government ensured sustained economic growth towards ensuring financial security of Bhutanese. Towards ensuring health and well-being of the Bhutanese people, the government has been increasing the budget allocation for the health sector. For instance, the budget allocation to the health sector in the 11th five-year plan was almost 3 times that of the 9th five-year plan. Now, for uplifting the rural livelihoods, the government has been trying hard to improve rural accessibility. The rural road connectivity through feeder roads and farm road constructions has been greatly improved. Moreover, to improve agricultural productivity, supply of farm machineries, electric fencing, enhancing market access for farm produce have been greatly enhanced. To address youth unemployment issue, the government has launched the Overseas Education and Skills Development Program as a priority sector lending, under which Bhutanese youth can have access to loans without collateral to pursue higher education or develop proficiency and skills abroad, to improve their employment opportunities or business positions upon return home. The participating financial institutions will receive tax waiver on interest income from lending on the scheme under the Fiscal Incentives Program of 2016. The Bhutan Children's Parliament, or the BCP, was initiated to help students enhance leadership skills and facilitate the formulation of opinions, views, hopes, and aspirations in real-life situations. The outcome could also be helpful for consideration in the decision-making system and processes of the Parliament of Bhutan. As per the Constitution of the Kingdom of Bhutan, the Bhutan's and also the Bhutan Children's Parliament, the aim is to encourage students to learn about the roles and responsibilities of citizens in nation building and sustaining democracy. This conference will therefore offer a good platform to enrich this dialogue and share best practices. The Royal Government is deeply honored to host this very important, the 7th International Conference on Gross National Happiness in Bhutan, and once again extend our warm welcome to all the participants. I would also like to congratulate Dasho Karma Ura and the Center for Bhutan Studies for organizing this very important international conference. We would like to wish all the participants a very successful discussion and a very happy stay in our country. I thank you and touch the lid.